Hi everybody. Let's talk about and see if you're an Enneagram 5, the researcher, and if you are, what practices you can do to help you become a better version of yourself. So the 5s on the Enneagram are called the researcher, okay? And they are part of now the mind or head triad, so 5, 6, and 7s. These are the ones that are the most pure, like academics, okay? These are kind of the professors of the Enneagram. So they're a head type, and all the head types have to deal with the same core kind of wound, if you will, and that is they deal with anxiety. And all of us, I think, in modern society, certainly those of us at HKIS, are in our minds most of the time. So I think we can all relate to this idea of just being very, very anxious because we're in our head and always worrying about the past and the future, and it's an issue we all have to deal with. So, one of the things that really stands out about the 5 is that they don't have strong opinions until the data comes in. This is a contrast to one of their lookalikes. Sometimes 5s can mistake themselves for 1s, because 1s also can, form strong opinions quite easily and act. 5s oftentimes don't know. It's like they're kind of, there's this side and the other side, I don't really know. It could be this. They're very open-minded, and that's what makes them really good researchers, because they don't have strong biases. However, once they do get the data comes in, that's when they can become really strong. And in fact, 5s are at their best when they actually become like the best parts of an 8. That is the challenger, the leader, when they know what they believe and they have the data to back it up. So they're very detail-oriented because they're waiting for the data. They love data. And it can be data in all types of ways. I mean, it can be traditional academic, but it can just be people that love collecting, stuffed animals, or they love collecting things. So the beauty is in the details. They also love to tinker with systems until they're finely tuned or until they're transformed over time. These are people like, say, myself. I've taught Humanities 1 in Action now for 17 years. Am I bored? Not really, because it's always changing. It's always dynamic. And so this is a typical type of thing, like tinkering with systems to evolve into something new. Objective truth is important. And this means that, like the 8s, they can be really good listeners because they really want to know what the truth is, and very open-minded. Now, the shadow side is that they're withdrawal types. So they oftentimes, especially when they're anxious, they can withdraw into their mental systems. Like, they got to be competent. That's the big fear. The anxiety is that they're incompetent. So they retreat to their minds to find competence, to find the security that they're seeking. And so because they fear incompetence and they feel like they're always incompetent, then that makes them very, very anxious. Also, because they're so much in their minds and always trying to figure stuff out, I think you would say they're the most disconnected from their bodies of all the types. They love systems, like the Enneagram, right? It's all this detail and helps you reveal things. So they love that. And like I said, healthy 5s become like 8s. And the goal eventually is to move not just from knowledge to wisdom, like intuition, from frenetic preparation, to welcoming intuition. And like I said, like 4s and 9s, they're withdrawn types. Okay. So my example this time is myself. I'm very much a 5. And the reason I know that is because, I wrote this book, 300 pages. This was a dissertation, a doctoral dissertation, basically on Humanities 1 in Action and on service learning. It just is not very normal. Most teachers are not going to spend time writing 300 pages on their course to see if it's effective. But for me, I loved it. I loved all the detail. I loved looking at student comments and analyzing those comments. I had way too much data, but that's what gave me the security that I was looking for, to know that I was actually teaching a course that was genuinely making a difference. This is a very typical 5 thing to do. Like, I thought that the course was good when I started, but then after I got this, it's like, then I can have much greater confidence. And this is what 5s do. All right, so let me just talk about some practices for 5s. So any practice to get out of the mind. Body scans, conscious walking, biking, conscious eating, yoga, etc. All good. This is my practice, is a surrender meditation. Because I have so much going on in my mind, I just have a meditation practice where when a thought comes in, I just say my prayer word and try not to think that thought. Try to let that thought go. And another one comes in immediately, but it's exercising the muscle of letting go mentally. Again, loving kindness meditation is especially useful for 5-wing 6s. 5-wing 6s are the most in their minds. 5-wing 4s, because they have the 4-wing in the heart triad, they're more balanced between the mind and the heart. It's a very, very powerful subtype because it's combining mind and heart, whereas the 5-wing 6s are totally in their minds. So something like a loving kindness meditation getting you into the heart is extremely useful. 5-wing 6s don't oftentimes experience their emotions hardly at all. A lot of these are really. I was just talking to one of my students here the other day. She's a 5-wing 6. She wants to be a chemical engineer. That's very typical. Engineers are oftentimes 5-wing 6 or 6-wing 5. So anyway, good luck. We don't have that many 5s at HKS, but if you are, it's extremely helpful to understand your type. And these are practices to help balance your type. So good luck.